This video is going to show you the common mistakes that barbers make that stop them from achieving a perfect eye taper. YouTube, what is good? I want to give you guys a disclaimer before we get started. If my voice sounds crazy, it's because I have laryngitis. But we are back. We're still going to put out this content and show you how to do a perfect eye taper. So we're just starting off by establishing our bald line at the top of the arch and where the ear connects to the head. And then we're going to use our shaver to get it all the way down to the skin. And I have to be honest, I'm pretty happy with how my voice is sounding right now, because the past 2 days, everything I said either sounded like I was whispering or I couldn't even get it out. But now we're going to come in with the lever all the way open, and we're going to go up 1/4 inch above that bald line. You want to remember to give yourself enough room to have a nice transition in the taper. A lot of barbers, what I notice is they get nervous to take a taper too high, so they make their guidelines very, very thin, and that just makes it a lot harder to get a nice spread out blend on that taper. Even if you're trying to do a low or a mid, you want to make sure that you give yourself a wide enough guideline. And then we're going to go up with our 1 guard lever open, still 1/4 inch or a finger's width above that previous guideline. You want to be consistent when establishing your guidelines, because that's going to ensure that the final result is consistent as well. And now after going in with the lever open, I'll close that 1 guard all the way to lighten up that line directly underneath. You want to be sure to not take this 1 guard closed all the way up to the top of the guideline, but you just want to tap at that line directly under the lever open. This is just going to make it slightly easier to get rid of when we drop down to our half guard. Now we're going to follow that up with the 1.5 lever open, and with this there's not going to be a distinct guideline. We're trying our best to freehand or scoop into the length on the sides and top. So I came in open, and then directly under that I'm coming in closed, and we're going to begin to blend down. And to save some time, since we already have the 1.5 on our clipper, we're going to go with the grain and taper that front hairline down. This specific client likes having, a pretty small tapered hairline, so we're being sure to knock that down and prep it for when we come in with our lineup. Now we have our half guard with the lever halfway, and we're attacking that last line at the bottom of the taper. And you're going to see me use a lot of the corner of the blade in order to try to get rid of this line. This is going to help prevent to take the taper up too high. And if you're still rocking with me through this tutorial despite my voice, you're a real one, and I appreciate you. And I noticed that the half guard didn't fully get rid of the last line, so I have the no guard with the lever open here, and I'm still utilizing the corner of that blade to break up any dark spots that I might see. Now this technique that I'm going to do here in a few moments, called clipper over comb, I like to use it because it allows me to stay efficient while trying to blend into bulk or length. So I could have moved on to my 2 and then my 3, but I feel like clipper over comb allows me to have more control and again do it a little more efficiently. So I want to come in with that comb and flare out slightly, and any hairs that stick out of the comb, we're going to go ahead and get rid of. As you can see, that light line that's at the top of the taper, it pretty much got rid of it. Now when blending into the beard, all it is pretty much a reverse taper. So every step that I would do going up on the side of the head, I'm going to do going down on the beard. And what you'll notice, the beard a lot of times is way easier to blend. That's just because most people's facial hair is not as dense and the hair is just a little bit more forgiving. So I went open, one open, and I'm trying to use the corner of the blade to blend into the actual length of his beard. But step by step, this taper is coming together very nicely. This is another barber, so if you're a barber that has ever cut another barber, you know there's a little extra added pressure. What is good, Clipperhands fam? I wanted to hop into this video and say thank you for tuning in. I hope you're getting as much game and as value as possible from this video. But also, did you know that 79% of the people that watch this channel are not subscribed? Crazy. But chances are you aren't either. So go ahead and tap the subscribe button for me. It helps me and helps you get this fire content. Now, if you are a barber who wants to grow and take the career to a whole nother level, but want a little bit more than what YouTube has to offer, I want to tell you about Dreclipperhands Academy. This is my online training program where I give you my exact system of haircutting to give out those Instagram quality haircuts in an efficient manner so you can make the most amount of money. And to show you I'm not bluffing, let's look at Aiden. Aiden started the program giving out haircuts like this. And 19 days later, he's giving out haircuts just like this. All by implementing the system of cutting and the process of cutting that I teach in Dreclipperhands Academy. Now let's look at Chris, who started off cutting hair like this and then turned it into this. Right, and this is all possible. I try to give you as much game and as much value as I can inside my online training program. Now, if you are interested in signing up, you can do that by tapping the link in the description, and I hope to see you in the community. Without further ado, let's get back into the video. And now we're gonna come to the other side of the head and apply that same exact process and system. So we're gonna begin by establishing our bald line. Because it is a high taper at the top of the hook, and then where the ear connects to the head, we're gonna shave that down. And I am using my Babyliss Entomb 45 trimmer. If you want to purchase yours, I have the link in the description. These trimmers are amazing, they're powerful, they're quiet. 10 out of 10 recommend. Again, link in the description. Now we're going to come in with the lever all the way open, again a 1/4 inch. The same exact process as we did on the other side, because we have a system and we have a process in place. And one of the biggest things that I think separates an average barber from a high level professional barber is having a system for every haircut. Right? If you're cutting hair and you don't have a structured approach, you're really making it harder on yourself, because you're taking longer and you're leaving room for inconsistencies in the haircut. Right? I think if you want to be a high-level professional barber, you have to start with a clear consultation with the client. Right? You want to ask the right questions to understand what that client wants. You want to ask, like, what exact length do you want? What kind of taper or fade? How do you style it? Right? Because if you can have a clear consultation with the client, and then the end result is you executing on it, you locked in that person forever. Right? And then another thing that I like to do is, you'll notice I like to have reference points when establishing my guidelines. And that helps me to have consistency as well. Because when you establish a solid foundation by establishing the shape of your haircut early, you're really setting yourself up for success, right? And a structured approach to haircutting ensures a balanced look and haircut every single time. And you'll notice another thing I like to do is work in sections, right? When I'm doing scissor cutting, we work in sections so that way we don't overwhelm ourselves and we're able to get nice even cuts. Same with fading. A lot of people like to do one side of the fade and then the other, or they like to do the left and the right side and then connect in the back. So finding a way to cut hair that allows you to focus on one area at a time can help you to be more efficient as well, right? Kind of like an assembly line. Each step flows into the next. And to really top it off, right, after you do the building of the shape, the sections, everything blending into each other, is the detail work. And the clients notice when you take the extra 5-10 minutes to detail the haircut and fine tune it, get that blend blurry, right? Get both sides of the lineup perfect. Like, all those little details make a good haircut great. And most clients will notice he's taking his time, he's paying attention, and that just adds another reason for a client to return to you, right? And then if you really want to put a cherry on top and take it to a whole nother level, style it. A lot of barbers don't use the blow dryer. They won't style a pompadour, a comb over, curls. But if you're able to give them a great haircut, a great lineup, a great fade, and then style it to complement the entire thing, man, you might as well have that client sign a contract because they're not going anywhere, right? And if you follow all those steps, where you start with the clear consultation, you set in your guidelines clean, you work in sections to finish efficiently, and then you detail and style it, man, you will be booked and making money in no time, right? And then after you style, you can recommend them with a good product for their haircut, and you just keep stacking, right? When you have little things throughout the service that confirm this client is exactly where they need to be, and you just stack those reasons throughout the entire haircut, and then you show them the mirror and it's exactly what they were looking for, man, you're gonna be a problem, I'm telling you. And now we're just getting into the neck taper, where we're going to start off with the bald line, then the lever open, then the one open, and we're going to work our way up and then blend our way down. And you'll notice on this client, I don't use the shaver on the back of the neck, and that's because on most people with black hair texture, they will bump up. So unless they tell me otherwise, I usually won't use a shaver on the neck, but I only use it from the ear forward, right? Because the last thing you want to do as a barber is get blamed for, ingrown hairs, and then people think you're dirty. You don't want a bad rep, I'm telling you. Now we're going to come in with the lever open on our clipper, and we're going up a 1/4 inch above that line. And we're just continuing to build the haircut, build that shape. And you'll notice that the back of his hair is a little flatter than the rest. That's because he's growing his hair out from a fade. So we want to be sure to keep the taper low enough and let that crown and back area grow in more. And I don't know about y'all, but for me, I feel like I'm talking better as I get through this tutorial. It's like opening up my vocal cords. But really, I might just be feeling myself, but I feel myself getting better as we go. Comment down below so far if you think my voice got better the deeper you got into this tutorial. Now we're coming in with the one guard open, and we're coming in and scooping out because again, we want to keep this low and we don't want to make it difficult to blend into that bulk in the back. And the reason I'm using the comb once I get to like that 1.5, 2 guard is because I feel like it grabs and lays the hair down better. When I brush the hair, I really feel like I'm forcing it down and not allowing it to lay where it naturally wants. So I usually like to use that brush for the half guard and anything below, and then a 1 guard and above, I'll usually use the comb, usually. And now we're going to start getting rid of that last line. So I have my half guard with the lever open to start getting rid of the line. And then if it doesn't get rid of it fully, you'll see me close that lever and start to attack it with the corner of my blade. And like I always say, the lineup acts as the framework to the entire haircut, right? The blend, the scissor work, whatever style they have. So I really want to take my time when giving him the lineup. So I'm going to start at the top of the ear. That's going to help prevent taking that too high or really unnatural. And then I'll work my way down to the bottom of the nape. So you'll see me comb those hairs down just to make sure that I get any loose hairs that might potentially hang over the lineup, because I want to make sure that this lasts and is crispy before and after a shower and on the day-to-day. But you'll see as soon as I put the line on the neck lineup or on the neck taper, it really pops and comes to life. That's why I always say it's the framework to the haircut, because it brings everything out. And now we're going to come to the other side and do the same thing. You never want to neglect the hairs behind the ear. I notice a lot of barbers, since most clients will pay attention to that, will line up from the very back of the ear down to the neck. But any hairs directly behind the ear going into the front taper, they'll leave bulky or they won't line it up. But really it's noticeable. As much as you don't think it is, it's noticeable, because when the client's hair starts to grow back, they'll notice, it's touching their ear way faster than it usually does. So you want to take pride in every step of the haircut and not try to shortcut it. And as you can see right here, my client has an amazing lineup. So there's not much difficulty when doing this, right? So I'm going to start in the middle and work towards his left corner because that's where I feel most confident. Now, if his lineup wasn't as good as it was, right, and one side is higher than the other, I would go to the higher side and then match the other side with it. But since his hairline's pretty full all the way through, I just decided to go towards his left. Trying to keep it as natural as possible. I don't want to push it back more than I have to, but you want to understand that every lineup is a pushback, but there's something called an appropriate pushback and an inappropriate pushback, right? And you want to do it appropriately, cut off only the hairs that need to be. Now we're going to move over to his right side and do the same exact thing. And even though bro does not need enhancements, this is going on Instagram and it's going on YouTube, and I need it to smack, right? So I'm gonna use my Tune 45 airbrush color and apply it to the lineup. He doesn't need a lot, so I'm gonna spray it on lightly and then darken it up as needed. This is really just to fill it in, make it really dark, and then I'm gonna outline it with the white pencil just to give it a little bit more contrast. And then with the trimmer and razor, we'll blend that white pencil line so he's not looking like an island boy. So we went ahead and reclined them, and we're going to frame out the bottom of the beard. I like to keep the back of the beard as wide as it can be. And then depending on where they want that bottom neckline, I'll do that. So we're going to go right at the Adam's apple, straight across. Very easy, very simple. And now we're going to come in and use our razor. So you want to make sure that you stretch the skin in the opposite direction of where you're using the razor. And then any hairs that the trimmer didn't get down to the skin, we're just going to hit with our razor to sharpen everything up. And this will blend out that white line a lot better as well. But as you can see, man, that high taper with the lineup is looking super crisp, very sharp. If you like the haircut so far, drop a comment down below. Even if you don't like it, drop a comment down below, alright? Let me know what I could have did better. Now this right here is really going to top off the haircut, and that is the beard line. Some people get a nice crisp beard line and some people don't. Now this client gets a nice crisp beard line, so it's going to make everything pop, really look polished and clean. So when I line it up, he gets that nice crisp ash line. But like I always say, you want to wipe that away a couple times and reline it, just to make sure that it is truly crisp and sharp and it's not just the white line. And we're going to go to the other side and do the same thing. So we're going to establish our line at the top of the beard and then establish our line at the bottom of the beard. And we'll connect those 2 points in the middle, giving us that nice round shape without pushing that beard line down more than it has to. God dang, that joint sounded terrible. Maybe I'm pushing myself too hard. But fam, this is the cut. A nice high taper. I gave y'all game how to lock clients in with the hair cutting system. But if you want to go more in depth, join Dreclipperhands Academy. But like always, I'll see y'all next time.